So you've got your Evilginx2 server set up and you're ready to start your campaign, but then you notice that your site's getting scanned. So what does that mean? How do you stop it? And that's what this video is going to cover. But first, make sure to like and subscribe. So this feature of blocking IPs is going to be used by the command Blacklist. This was implemented in Evilginx version 2.4. And I'll link this document in the description below. Scrolling down to the section IP Blacklist, it talks about the command Blacklist. So like it mentions here, if your instance is being accessed from unwanted sources, then you can add specific IPs and IP ranges to your blacklist. And your files will be located in your .evilginx directory in the file blacklist.txt. So the manual way is to edit this blacklist.txt file and put in IPs or IP ranges. By default, automatic blacklisting is disabled, so to enable it, you run blacklist unauth. That will automatically blacklist IPs that are requesting unauthorized requests. Now, if you want to blacklist every incoming request, then you would run blacklist on. And if you're manually editing the blacklist file and you want to put comments in there, then that would be done with a semicolon followed by your text. So let's run these commands in a live environment and see how they work. Okay, so I have my Evilginx2 server up and running, ready to go. Now, I was hoping for this video that I would start getting scanned pretty quickly, like during my previous video where I did the complete setup and then right away I got scanned. But of course, the one time I want to capture it on camera, I don't get scanned. Just to speed things up, what I did was I created another EC2 instance, which is this one on the top up here. And what I'm going to be doing is sending curl request onto my Evilginx2 server. And that way we can mess with the blacklisting. And you can see how it looks from the sender as well. So from my other EC2 instance that we'll call scanner from now on, I'll just send a simple curl request to my Evilginx2 domain. And you can see that we get an unauthorized request. If we do another one to admin, and then portal. So that's kind of how it looks whenever you're getting scanned. You're just getting requests unauthorized to all these different possible directories. And again, this can lead to your site getting flagged as a phishing site and potentially getting blocked. So let's look into the blacklisting. Let's go the manual way. So if we look at our directory where we installed Evilginx2, for me, I installed it as root, so it's in my root directory. And it's a hidden folder. So hidden folder is just starting with a dot. So you'll see .evilginx, so make sure you do ls-a. If you want to see hidden directories, just cd or change directories to that one. And if we ls or list that one, you can see the blacklist.txt. Right now there's nothing in there because we haven't enabled it. So if we want to manually edit this blacklist file, then we would manually enter in the IP or the CIDRs. So you can use your favorite editor. Mine's Vim, but to make things simpler, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to echo IP addresses into this blacklist file. That way it's easier to follow along. So I'm just running the command to echo the IP address followed by 2 greater than arrows, which means appending. 1 arrow means that you're going to completely wipe the file that you're writing into. And then now if I look at the blacklist file, I'll see that the IP address is in there. So let's start up Evilginx again. And now whenever I try running the curl command from my scanner, you'll see that it's getting blocked. So now let's manually remove it to show you how that looks. And then we'll try sending the request again and you'll see that it goes through. So we see that the IP is in the blacklist file. Again, feel free to use your favorite editor like Vim to edit the file manually. In this case, I just want to wipe out the blacklist file. So I'm going to do echo 2 double quote parentheses, meaning blank, and then the 1 greater than arrow, which again will override whatever's in the file, and the file name. Now looking at blacklist, you see that there's not anything in there. All right, let's go back to Evilginx and let's run another request. And you'll see that now we're getting the requests again and they're not being blocked. So let's now look at doing it the automatic way, which if you're getting scanned live, you'll see all these requests being received constantly. So that's why I think the automatic way would definitely be beneficial. You could just set it and forget it. And to run that, we use the blacklist unauth command. It gives you an informational message saying that it's set to unauth. Now if I run the request, you'll see the unauthorized request followed by blacklisting that following IP. And if I try to send requests, now you see that it's automatically getting blocked. So let's take a look at that blacklist file, and you'll see that it automatically got put into there. Let's empty out that file again. Go to Evilginx, and to turn it off, the command is blacklist off. Now it shows blacklist mode is set to off. If we try to send the request, we're able to again. Alright, and now let's take a look at the blacklist on command, which blacklists any IP regardless if it's an authorized request or unauthorized request. And to explain the difference between unauth and authorized request, the unauthorized request is request sending to an URL that is not one of your lures. So if I look at my lure that I currently have, it's this one right here. So if I run a curl request to that specific URL that's set for my lure, you'll see that I don't get an unauthorized request message anymore. So the blacklist unauth would not blacklist this IP because it's not unauthorized, whereas blacklist on will block that IP. So it looks like the command is not blacklist on like in the documentation, but blacklist all. So let's do blacklist all. So let's do a curl request to the legitimate phishing link, and you'll see that it automatically got blacklist. And if we look at the blacklist file, you'll see that the IP address is in there as well. And again, to turn this off, just do blacklist off. And just real quick to cover comments like it mentioned, let's go into the file. I'm gonna use Vim, like I said, it's my favorite one and I highly recommend it. If you press the I, it'll go into insert mode, and the documentation says that if we add a semicolon followed by any text, and then you save the file. So I click escape, WQ for write and quit. Look at the blacklist file, you see my comment. Start up Evilginx again, it's blocked, so it should stay blocked, and it is. And there you have it. So that's the blacklist command. It's pretty useful. I'm going to start using it from now on. Hopefully it'll help my site not get detected as quickly. I'm going to be setting up more videos related to Evilginx to take it to the next level, so make sure to subscribe.